Hey, good news, everyone. My eye is kinda, sorta, slightly, significantly better. But, yeah. So, anyone know how to follow up having an episode of Hot Ones with Gordon Ramsay? I'll tell you how you get two of the greatest comedic femme fatales today to be on Hot Ones. I'll get to that in a second. Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, it's Friday, February 1st. We're officially no longer in January. That was very nice. January ended with bitter cold, so maybe February will start off a little bit better, right? No, it didn't. It went up a mere 2 degrees. So now it's -4. And still, it's very cold out. So cold, in fact, that at one point my hands actually started to hurt, and I was wearing gloves. No idea how that works, but actually, I do have some idea how it works. I went to college, like Plankton did. Anyway, so yeah, that was yesterday's episode of Hot Ones was just awesome. I mean, they got the 2 stars of Broad City, Allie Jacobson and Alana Glazer, to be on Hot Ones, and it was awesome. I love those 2 girls. They're funny. They're really funny, and I love how, like, in the opening, like because Hot Ones has its like own opening, and at one point they show like Sean Evans, the host, and the guest, and I'm like, I wonder what they're going to do to show off the host and the guest celebrities. And maybe the whole like Sean standing in the middle with both of his arms wrapped around each one of the 2 ladies. I'm like, that's how you do it. That is how you do it. Yeah. I actually did something like that once where it was my senior year at Horseheads, and our select choir actually had to go up to Binghamton, specifically Vestal, to do one of those holiday sort of like music things or whatever for like local television. They'll get like local talent and like put it on like local cable access networks or whatever, and they do something like holiday theme related. Well, after we were done, we actually went to go get lunch. Now, Vestal is actually really cool because it had a combination Long John Silver's and A&W, which already is awesome. Got myself, if I recall correctly, I got myself a burger and fries, and it's A&W, so you gotta have a root beer float. I mean, you can't go to A&W without a root beer float. That's just common law. It's like one of the 5 commandments that fell off that 3rd stone tablet that Moses dropped in History of the World Part 1. But yeah. So, after we're done, then, this combination Long John Silver's A&W had like a giant booth, and a bunch of us are sitting at this booth, you see. And for whatever reason, I found myself directly in the middle of that giant, like, booth that seats like 9 people. And I didn't plan this, I swear, but there's like 1 girl to the left of me, 1 girl to the right of me. And a friend of mine walks up from a distance, and she's like, "Wow, Nick Cutler, you're a pimp." And I'm like, yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, it was like, seriously, I don't think I was ever going to get a shot like that ever again. So you know what? I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own that thing, man. It was awesome. But, it was just one of those, like, one-off things. It's probably, computer shut off again. Probably one of those one-off things that is never going to happen again. So, actually, if I recall, that day started off great, but the night ended up being really kind of sad because, remember I played football for Horseheads, and that very night we ended up playing Binghamton in the Section 4 playoffs. See, Section 4 is, the way New York State is broken up, it's broken up into sections, or sectionals, if you will. And, if you win your section, you go to the state tournament for football. And, obviously, Section 1 plays 2, 3 plays 4, etc. The Horseheads, Elmira, Corning, Binghamton, Ithaca areas, those are all Section 4. And that night, our team ended up playing against Binghamton. Now, Binghamton was a team that we should have beat the week before, but, we didn't. And so we ended up getting the 3rd seed. Binghamton got the 2nd seed. So we had to go back up to Binghamton. So they went up to Binghamton the first time that day. I actually was pretty much at Binghamton the entire day that day. So that was fun. Actually, come to think of it, it was pretty awesome because it was a Friday and I basically got the day off from school. That was really chill. That was awesome. We didn't get back to say maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon because Vestal to Horseheads is actually a bit of a drive. It's at least 45 minutes. Maybe even longer. Anyway, so we get to Binghamton, and in the very beginning of the game, one of our defensive ends actually intercepted the ball, and he just ran right in for the touchdown. Everyone's like, yeah! And then we lost 35-7. I'm like, yeah, it was pretty sad. Not really how I wanted to end my football career at Horseheads. Fun fact about that defensive end, he not only also played basketball for Horseheads, but his number was 85, and this is around the time that Chad Johnson was really famous. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Chad Johnson was a wide receiver who I believe played for the Patriots and ended his career in, I do believe, he went to he was for the Bengals. He played for the Bengals, I'm sorry. Or maybe he played for both. I forget. But I know for a fact he at least played for the Bengals. And he ended his career in Buffalo with Terrell Owens, of all people. So, yeah. And Chad Johnson was one of the most entertaining wide receivers probably in the NFL, and he actually had the numbers to back it up too. So he was pretty good. It's funny because his nickname, because Chad Johnson also wore 85, his nickname was Ocho Cinco. Which, if you know how to speak Spanish like I do, that's not remotely how to say 85. It's actually 85, in case anyone's wondering. So, because of the whole popularity, our guy, who also wore 85, had his nickname be Ocho Cinco as well. And a while back, when I did the Raider reports on the Rowdy Raiders, we had shirts called, Rowdy Raiders. And on the back, around the upper part of our back, near our shoulders, we had, our nickname. And, Ocho Cinco was the nickname that this particular individual had. Remember, I never named names, so I was not to embarrass or offend anyone. So, yeah. But if any of you guys are from Horseheads, you know who I'm talking about. Actually, going back to that football game, it was really cool because he read the play perfectly. He pretty much got the interception and just it was a pick six. It was a pick six. It was honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen that guy do. I do believe he ended up going to. It's funny because. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I'll look it up. Actually, no, I'm not gonna look it up because that'd be Facebook stalking, and that'd be wrong. I guess I'll have to go without knowing, I guess. I'm trying to remember where he went to college, because about 2 years later, one of my brothers from Trinity Pauling, who ended up becoming the head prefect after I was gone, and I'm going to that same college. Son of a gun, what was the name of that college? I want to say it was Allegheny, or, it wasn't Nazareth. That's where my roommate from Trinity Pauling went. And it's also where a soccer player I knew from Horseheads also went as well. A girl soccer player. Man, this is gonna eat at me all day. And yeah, I could simply look it up later, but the only way I'm gonna know how is if I Facebook stalk, and I don't want to do that because it has the word stalk in the name, and that's not cool. That is not cool at all. And I should probably stop talking about that before it gets rather weird. So, how about I talk about another thing that happened finally today? We finally have a new chapter of One Piece. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I know that January is kind of a rest period for the creator of One Piece, Ichiro Oda, but man, it's like, especially when the chapter before ends on something really cool, and then you hear One Piece will be on hiatus for next week. I'm like, no, you gotta wait 2 weeks, and yeah, it's February 1st. That's when the new chapter came out. So yeah, a new chapter of One Piece comes out, and man, it was great reading it again after 2 weeks because I missed it. And thankfully, it looks like it's going to be going on every week for a little while until we see another hiatus notice later. Oh well, it is what it is, I suppose. I'm certainly not going to let that bother me by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. Again, if I ever talk about One Piece chapters, I'll certainly never spoil it because, I put a link in the description up top or below or whatever social media platform you're watching it in the, I put the link to the chapter in the description, so if you want to read it, you're more than welcome to. But let's just say, holy cow, I can't believe that character survived. Yeah, that's vague enough to avoid a spoiler. Then again, if you read the last chapter I put up, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But, yeah, actually, holy cow, not only did that character survive, but holy cow, they also have amnesia. Let's see, nearly 22 years, and this is only the second time that amnesia has been used as a remote plot device in One Piece. That's actually a pretty good ratio, considering that, amnesia is kind of a tired cliche. But one thing that's never going to be a tired cliche is the way I end these videos. So like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I can really use support on YouTube. Follow me on the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. And as always, I'm very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful Friday, which kicks off a wonderful weekend. Also remember, if you practice the Christian or Catholic faith, be sure to get your meat fix in. Not going to be able to have meat on Fridays after March 6th. So, you have to wait until April 27th, I believe. Yeah, no, April 26th. That's when it is. Or, actually, April 25th. What am I saying? April 25th. Until you're able to have the end. So, be sure to get in now, because you literally only have the month of February to do it. So, yeah, be sure to do that. And as always, if I ever want to talk to chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. And I'll always have your back. Take care and have an awesome day. And if you're in my area, do everything you can to stay warm. Holy cow, it's cold. Seriously, one of my biggest pet peeves about running in the cold is that my iPod loses battery like that. I don't like that at all. I never like that at all. Especially when I know for a fact my iPod was like 99% charged before I left. So you imagine how aggravating this is. Take care.